Hello, and welcome to episode number 8 of the Magic is in You podcast. I am so grateful you're here today. Thank you so much for tuning in. If this is your first episode, please say hello. Send me a DM on Instagram. Tell me that you're listening. Let me know how it feels, what your takeaways are, how you've learned, and what you're diving with, what you're vibing with. Let me know. I would love to hear from you, know who's listening, connect with you, and grow with you. My name is Kelsey Holmes, and I am a life and mindset coach, empowering badass women entrepreneurs to cultivate deep-rooted self-love, self-worth, and self-confidence, embodying the badass magic that is inside of them already so that they can show up powerfully in their businesses, intentionally cultivating and designing the lives that lights them up. And I am so excited you're here today. I am actually going to be sharing an Instagram live that I did about embodying our magic and what even that is. Like, what does embodied magic even mean? And this live is just, it's just fire. And I was on a roll and feeling the energy and I just wanted to share it with you too, because sometimes in that moment, trying to recreate magic is one thing, but when you can capture the moment or the magic in the moment, that is really special. And so I really wanted to share this Instagram live with you because of that magic that was happening and flowing and growing and going in that moment, talking about embodied magic and allowing myself to learn through even chatting more about it and exploring more about it, and not just through experience, but really diving into some of the deeper meanings and intentions behind embodying our own magic, myself and for all of us, because we're all learning and growing. This isn't just, we all get to learn, we all get to grow. I'm right there on the growth journey with you. And I've been on this growth journey for a long time now, and I've learned so much and grown so much. And I am so grateful that this growth journey, this evolution, being an entrepreneur, a business owner, being a woman, being somebody who wants to continue to grow and elevate and expand and just really intentionally live this life to all that life has to offer. I'm just so grateful you're here today. And I'm so grateful to connect with you, because when we can embody our magic, the magic in this world that this world shows us is truly endless. So I have this fun Instagram live to share with you in just a minute, but I just wanted to let you know what's happening at Elevate You, my coaching business. And I just want to let you know that I'm actually hosting a free 3-day workshop, Embodied Magic Masterclass, that I'm hosting at the end of the month, September 30th, October 1st and 2nd. I'm so excited. It's going to be a 3-day on Zoom, so you can tune in wherever you're at in the world. And if you can't make the live sessions, that's okay. I will have recordings up for 10 days after the masterclass. And this is going to incorporate all sorts of different tools and tricks that I've learned over the years, different movements, breath, different subconscious programming, including a hypnosis session. I'm so excited. We already have women in there, and I'm just so excited to share this, because this is truly the dream of mine, is to impact and inspire and empower women to own their badassery, empower themselves and truly own their magic, shine their light in this world, because we all know that the world needs just a little bit more light, right? And your light matters, your ripple matters, your dreams matter, your magic matters. And that's why I'm so excited to be hosting this masterclass. It's the first one I've hosted in a year and a half. Life has been going. I've been growing my fabrication business, converting a garage into an Airbnb, and as I'm diving back into elevating the podcast and elevating my coaching business, Elevate You. So enjoy the episode today, and let me know if you're listening. Like I said, hop into my DMs on Instagram. I would love to connect with you. And in love, light, and so much gratitude, enjoy the episode. Hello, beautiful badasses. How are you today? Say hello as you're hopping on. Say hello if you are catching the replay. My name is Kelsey Holmes. I am a life and mindset coach, empowering badass women entrepreneurs to tune and tap in and turn on the magic within inside of them. Today we are talking about embodying the magic that's inside of you. And what does that even mean? Say hello as you're popping on. Hi, Paula. What does that even mean? Embodying the magic inside of you. So I have recently become a little bit of a word nerd, which is kind of funny because growing up, I was told I had a learning disability and was in all sorts of like special ed classes, which really left a mark on me of not feeling good enough, all of these things. And it's only been recently in the last few years that I've really unlocked a lot of those old limiting beliefs around this learning disability. And since starting to do all this unlocking work on these old limiting beliefs that I had around not being smart enough, not being good enough, this or that to create XYZ, I have been releasing that and really leaning into the power of words and how impactful really understanding words is. And so I'm gonna just read the definition of embodied because this was even helpful for me to read. Like I talk about embodiment and feel the embodiment, like for me, embodiment feels like actually feeling that feeling of the thing that I want in my body now, or like feeling confident within my body, or like walking confidently into a room, for example, feeling love within my body, feeling like I can love my body and tuning into that, tapping into that feeling of loving myself and my body. So, but reading the definition was enlightening. So I'm going to share it with you. The definition of embody is to be an expression of or a tangible or visible form to an idea, quality, or feeling. So being that physical, tangible form to an idea, quality, or feeling. So embodying the magic that is inside of us, the light that is inside of us, embodying and shining that out, being a visible form of the magic that is inside of us. And I'm going to share one more definition with you because again, I've become kind of a word nerd after releasing all of those old limiting beliefs. So the definition of magic, the power of apparently influencing the course of events by using mysterious or supernatural forces. And I say embodying magic because it's not normal in everyday life to see people walking around owning their magic, owning their light, owning their self-love, their self-confidence, their being, who they are at that soul essence. That is like this almost feels like mysterious or supernatural because it's just not normal in our society today. So oftentimes we put on this fake front of being confident or like showing up as like from this place of ego of that, oh, I'm better than you kind of thing, rather than just being in that embodied self-love, self-confidence where I am grateful and love myself for who I am and I can see your light and love you for who you are and we are equal, right? It's not this above egoic space. It's that like seeing each other for humans and for who we are and truly embodying that magic, right? We can feel the difference between that embodied self-love, that embodied confidence within themselves and the people who are trying to prove it. Because I can feel the difference. Can you feel the difference in your body? Do you notice when you are in that place of magic and flow and just like embodied self-love versus that place of like ego, of proving, of trying? I certainly know this is something that I've been working on massively because up until the last few years, I really had shit for confidence or any self-worth, self-love, and that came out. The only time I really felt confident it's like that feeling of confidence from the ego place, not from the self-love place. It was that feeling of like trying to figure out where I'm at in relationship to everybody else around me. Like if they're better than me, that means that I am less than, versus I see your greatness and I can see my greatness too. It's different. So when we're talking about embodying our magic, it's when we can really tune in, tap in, turn on our magic, our light, tune into that love within ourselves, for ourselves, that we get to show up in an embodied magic way in this world from a place of true authentic self versus the ego self of trying to be better than. this has been like a long untangling for me of self-love and not just coming from a place of ego, because for so long in my life, it wasn't until I was like 28 years old when I was listening to a podcast for the first time around mindset and self-love and self-talk and how our thoughts create our feelings, which create our actions, which create our results. It wasn't until I was introduced to this mindset and thought work that I really understood the difference between like actually loving yourself, authentically embodying your light, your self-love, and ego. I thought it was one and the same, and I had this negative connotation of ego from that, again, that place of better than you kind of thing. I have to take a breath because I'm just like still working it out in my head, because those were so ingrained into me for so long. And I didn't want to be that person, that girl, that woman who thought that she was better than everybody else. So instead, I just hated myself and spent so much of my life belittling, berating, kicking my own ass every single day, all day long, in my head, in the thoughts of my head. And that in turn cultivated the feelings that I felt about myself, like hating myself, right? If you're going to talk shit to yourself all day, what else do you do aside from hate yourself? Which then created actions which physically showed up in a lot of excess weight and that kind of protector layer that I've since released 50 pounds of. And then, we have wood showing up. My dogs might erupt like any second. We have firewood guy coming and dropping firewood off, and my dogs might lose their shit if they hear him. So heads up. But anyway, what I was saying is that is what created the results, right? The thoughts in my head created the feelings that I felt about myself, which created the actions that I took coming from that place of self-hatred. And that created the results in my life of not being the person who I dreamt of being. I am so grateful. I'm like so blown away still that like I've actually done this. I've created this. So years ago, a little tangent story. I was in the backcountry of the Yukon Territory in northern Canada, like far up in one of the it's right by Alaska. Anyway, so I was up in the backcountry of the Yukon Territory, and I was on a 80-day backcountry expedition. So we were doing glacier mountaineering, backpacking, and whitewater canoeing for 80 days, like strung along into third sections. Anyway, part of this journey, obviously a lot of self-growth. It was a Knowles course with the National Outdoor Leadership School, full semester course, and tons of self-growth, obviously lots of leadership skills, obviously lots of like outdoor backpacking skills and leave no trace and wilderness first responder, first aid, that kind of thing. Anyway, all of these skills and tons of self-development, because when you're in the backcountry of the wilderness with 13 dudes, one other girl, and a few instructors, you just can't not like grow. Anyway, throughout this journey, at the end of the journey, we got an opportunity this was kind of like a prompt from one of our instructors, to sit down and write a letter to ourselves, to our future self from 6 months from now. Our instructor was going to take all of these letters and send them out in 6 months, like to where we were living after we had spent so much time in the backcountry. And he suggested writing a little bit of lessons, reflections, dreams, hopes, this and that, and just write a letter to yourself. Whatever it was. I don't remember the exact prompt, but it was along that lines. And so I wrote my letter, and in that letter, I still have it buried somewhere. I still have it, and I have read it recently in the last year or so, and I've read it a few times over the years. I got the letter, and it was one of those hopes and dreams of what I wanted to be doing, and on that letter it had said, "Are you practicing yoga every day?" Which is so funny, because before my Knowles course, before spending 80 days in the backcountry of the Yukon Territory, the only experience I had with yoga was a single credit college class, and it was me at a community college, the college that I was going to in Wyoming, for outdoor leadership and education. Anyway, I was taking single credit college class, and it was like once a week, and it was me and a bunch of ladies who had retired. I was like the only college age student at this class all semester, and I just showed up every week with all of these retired ladies and learned the basic poses. I remember my roommate telling me, she was like, yeah, I took that last semester and there was just no flow. I just didn't enjoy it at all because there was no flow. There was like no connection, and I had no idea what that meant at the time, because we were just like, she was explaining one pose and we'd get into the one pose, and then we'd like come out and sit on our mat and she'd explain the next pose and we'd get into the next pose. So there was no like actual flow transition in the asana. Good boy, Togi. That's a good boy. They're here sleeping on the floor and they kind of hear the guys out there moving wood. Anyway, so my roommate was telling me that there was no flow, which I didn't understand. I didn't know flow yet. I hadn't connected with flow yet in a way that I had conceptualized. I connected with flow as a kid figure skating, and I loved figure skating because I recognized that it was that feeling of flow, that feeling of freedom within myself, within my body, within my being. Anyway, so connecting to this feeling of flow was like, this idea of flow was something that was very foreign. So on my Knowles course, when I wrote this letter to myself, even though I didn't know flow, even though I didn't really have much experience with yoga still, I could see that yoga was like something that I wanted, something that I needed. And so that's why I wrote this. Are you practicing yoga every single day? And it took me over a decade to actually commit to myself to practice yoga every single day. But I'm so grateful because that like younger version, that 19-year-old version of Kelsey, like, gosh, 15 years ago, could see how transformative this practice would be for me, could see the vision of myself, could see and desired to be the person who I am today. Somebody who is so grateful for all of the work that she's done, for all of the growth that she's had, for all of the self-awareness, self-forgiveness, self-love that she's cultivated for herself, who's been able to move from that place of self-hatred, self-doubt, constant berating and belittling myself in the thoughts in my head, taking shitty action after shitty action, drinking and partying way too hard. Even though I was a massage therapist, even though I was trying to get more into yoga, feeling like this total like double standard imposter, and like being able to be to this point now today where I can actually genuinely embody this self-love, embody who I am in my being here and now, and embodying my magic. There's just like, there's no other way to say it aside from it feels so magical. It feels so expansive. Now, does this mean I'm perfect? Absolutely fucking not. I'm not saying that this is perfect at all. This is a practice that I do every single day. In fact, I committed to myself again on July 1st to do yoga every single day until the end of the year. And I have committed to that, and I've stuck with it, even though I've done yoga at like 10:30 at night a few times, even though some days I really didn't want to. I have been surprised how many days I found myself not wanting to get on my mat, not wanting to do it. And then I come back to that, but how will I feel after I stay committed to myself? Like, what would I feel like if I actually gave up on myself this time? Like, I've given up on myself enough times. I know what that feels like. It feels like garbage. It feels just like, it feels slimy and gross. I would rather get on my mat for that 20 minutes that I've committed to myself and dedicated to myself every single day. And just that commitment, even if I'm just like fucking laying on my back in Shavasana the whole time, just that commitment to myself, holding and keeping the promise that I'm making to myself, allows me to tune and tap in and turn on my magic every single day. So when we're embodying magic, when we are becoming, as I said at the beginning of this, my little word nerd thing nowadays, the vision, the visible signal of that magic, of that mysterious, almost supernatural force, because when we do love ourselves from a place of true, authentic soul self-love, not just that place of ego self-love, it feels different, and it's that visible feeling, and it almost feels foreign because it's not something we're used to seeing in our everyday. And for most of my life, it wasn't something I was used to seeing in the mirror. And allowing myself to tune and tap and turn on my magic for a little bit of time each and every day, but keeping that dedication to that practice, to that magic tapping in practice, as I said recently, has allowed me to truly embody this magic. And I'm so excited because I am sharing my very first masterclass that I have shared in almost a year and a half at the end of this month. And it's called the Embodied Magic Masterclass. It's a free 3-day powerful masterclass that I am so excited to be sharing different practices, from breath, tapping into body awareness, to gentle movement, to a little bit more vigorous movement, to also the mindset and the subconscious work behind this, incorporating and weaving in hypnosis, like I said, all of those other modalities, and including Reiki and energy work and all of these different things that I've cultivated over the years, over the decades now of personal growth, personal development, continuing on from being a personal development outdoor ed person to a massage therapist, to an energy practitioner, to a hypnotherapist, to a coach, and continuing on my evolution of growth and expansion. So if you want in on this free 3-day Embodied Magic Masterclass happening September 1st or 30th, to the 1st and 2nd, drop a little magic wand, or your favorite emoji below, and I will send you the link to get all of the information. It's free. You'll get access to the replays for a limited amount of time, and I would just love to have you there. I am so excited to be connecting and to grow this community, the Magic is in You community, the new podcast that I've recently released, launched this summer, and continue to grow this magic ripple, because you are deserving, you are worthy, you are so much more capable than you realize, and you deserve this. So tune in, tap in, turn on your magic, come to the Embodied Magic Masterclass. And if you can't make it live, like I said, you'll have access to the replays. There will be a small group, or not a small group. Hell, let's go for this. Let's cultivate this group. Let's have as many badass women entrepreneurs who are ready to embody, tune and tap and turn on their magic in this class, so that we can cultivate this community and truly shine our light and allow each other, support each other in shining theirs. Because what an abundant world. I literally have chills all over my body thinking about this abundant world where we can authentically shine our light and also accept and see and allow others to shine theirs, and empower others to shine theirs, and celebrate others shining theirs. So if you want more information, drop your favorite emoji below and I will send you the link. And in love, light, and so much gratitude, I will see you next time. Peace.